ridiculous. So, Pixel 8 Pro here, recorded with the iPhone 15 Pro Max. I've had so many comments here, like recently, that it's inspired me to make this video about fanboy stupidity. Yes, fanboy stupidity. I'm sorry if I insult anybody. I may not be. But talking about these phones, and it's funny because I saw somebody, a buddy of mine on Twitter, was posting today about how he feels like the Pixel 8 Pro is like an ultra level phone. Basically, it's worth the $1,000. It's worth the price upgrade because of all the new stuff in it, and it works really well. And then you see in the comment section like, oh, it's not, it's a ripoff, it's a crap phone, it's a piece of trash. Like, probably 80% of these people don't even have this phone. But it's funny because I see things like, oh, it's a mid-tier processor, which I've covered this one, not a mid-tier processor. But here's the thing. One of the justifications somebody had for the phone not being a pro-level phone was it didn't have a vapor chamber to cool off the processor, and it didn't have ultrasonic fingerprint scanner. Which, educational moment here, the ultrasonic fingerprint scanner is a proprietary thing that Samsung does, so no phone other than a Samsung phone has an ultrasonic fingerprint scanner. Just so you know, this one has an optical one, and it's actually pretty darn good. I have been really, really happy with it. So, other question, vapor chamber. No, it does not have a vapor chamber to help cool off the processor, which it doesn't need because it doesn't have heat issues, right? So, but also, you know what else doesn't have a vapor chamber? The iPhone 15 Pro and Pro Max, which are having significant heat issues. And you know what the iPhone 15 Pro and Pro Max also don't have? They don't have a fingerprint sensor at all. Not only do they not have a ultrasonic fingerprint scanner, they don't have a fingerprint scanner, fingerprint sensor, period. They only have Face ID. And another thing, somebody was talking about, oh, the iPhone 15 Pro Max and Pro, they're not Pro because the charging is too slow. It's only 30 watts. Well, I hate to break it to you, but the iPhone 15 Pro and Pro Max are what, like 20 watts? If you look at the Z Fold 5, it's 25 watts. So there is a litany of cross-contamination here where people don't pay attention. And it's funny because you get some folks who will be a brand loyalist to one phone and they'll hate on another phone for features that either are not standard for what they're talking about or are not even existent on their phone. How do you have an iPhone user hate on the Pixel for charging too slow and not having a fingerprint scan? It doesn't have an ultrasonic fingerprint scanner. Mind-boggling. Also, the fact that somebody spelled mid-tier, M-I-D-T-E-A-R, as in tier, Crimea River, like Justin Timberlake. So, I got to thinking. I don't know if this is a fundamental lack of education, which I try very hard to educate folks whenever it comes to the videos that I make. I really like to talk about things. I like to get in the weeds, get into the megahertz, get into the gigabytes, get into the fundamental philosophy on brand strategies and how things work. And then I'll see in the comments, oh, this phone sucks, Samsung rules. Or this phone is trash. None of these phones are trash. Somebody was trying to tell me that the iPhone 15 Pro was trash. No, it's actually one of the best phones of this year. It's actually one of the best phones ever made. So it's just funny to me. There's so much absolutism in the fanboy arsenal whenever it comes to these phones. And it's really frustrating because I'm like, how are you this dumb? I mean, really, how are you this dumb? But do you even honestly believe that stuff? And when you take a look at the phones, Pixel 8 Pro, S23 Ultra, iPhone 15 Pro Max, OnePlus Open, they're all fantastic. When you're looking at these flagship chips, these flagship cameras, I mean, shoot, the Pixel 8 Pro got all new cameras on the back this year. It's doing some great stuff, taking some great photos. Whenever you look at the iPhone 15 Pro Max, fantastic battery life, like a 180 from last year. The A17 Pro, it's got AAA title games on it that you can get or will be able to get soon. And it's got a fantastic camera. It's got the action button. It's got Dynamic Island. Somebody said that Dynamic Island and the action button are not innovative, which I'm like, okay, well, they're not on other phones, so that's new, but it's also new for the platform, and they're building it out and allowing you to do different features with it. And I get it. We've been kind of stagnant here in the gene pool for phones for a long time. And then you talk about foldables, and then you get to the foldable argument like, oh, nobody wants those. And everybody hedges their bets against this average consumer. And it's funny, it reminds me of law school with like the straw man principle. Everybody's always talking about them, they, whatever. They're trying to use a group or a person that doesn't exist to justify their argument. Just like I was doing a podcast with Painfully Honest Tech, Jason T. Lewis, good friend of mine, and talking about the right to repair. And it's funny because so many people, there were tech reviewers up in arms, like angry last year or 2 years ago whenever Apple said they're going all integrated, you can't replace the memory, you have to buy whatever. It was like wailing and gnashing of teeth. Well, not a whole lot of people actually care about right to repair and are going to swap out the GPU or the hard drive or the RAM in their laptop. That's a very small subset of society. And they were acting like this is a huge issue and everybody cares about it. And then you turn around to something like 120 hertz versus 60 hertz on an $800 phone and they go, no, the average consumer doesn't care about that. Okay. So there's a lot of stuff that the average consumer doesn't care about. And then there's a lot of stuff that the fanboys care about, and then they're just like completely blind to everything else. I'm going to tell you some truths here. The iPhone 15 Pro Max is a great phone. The S23 Ultra is a great phone. The OnePlus 11 and the OnePlus Open, fantastic phones. All of these phones that are coming out, they're really darn good. This has probably been the best year that we've had for smartphones in a very, very long time. It's been very hard to find a lot of bad things about them. Like, sure, yes, the OnePlus Open doesn't have wireless charging. And somebody was like, oh, the OnePlus Open sucks. It's trash because it doesn't have wireless charging. Okay, well, it does have 67-watt charging. It comes with the case and a built-in screen protector, and it comes with the 67-watt charger in the box, and you can recharge it in less than an hour. Or Interstage left, the Z Fold 5 that has 25-watt charging and comes with no charging brick and takes 3 times longer to charge, but has wireless charging. So this whole, okay, if you don't like something, that's fine. Somebody was trying to tell me that, it's so stupid to have 8K video on the Z Fold, or just because the Z Fold has 8K video, it's just a marketing gimmick. I don't have a whole lot of practical application for it, but there are actually practical applications for 8K video. So if you want, you can actually shoot an 8K and then crop that down and then use it at 4K and have significantly more detailed video. Or if you want, there are TVs now that upscale to 8K. There are things you can do with it. I think it's kind of a fringe thing. I do appreciate like the 24, the 30 frames per second and stuff. But take note of this. Just because a feature exists and you don't have a practical application for it, doesn't mean that it doesn't need to be there, that it's trash, it's a gimmick, or that the phone doesn't need it. Be thankful when they put extra features in there, right? So it's just, I've been going over this, I've been arguing. Normally I'm like, okay, I just hide people from chat, whatever, dismiss them. But there's been a few that I've actually been like, you know what? I'm going to have a conversation with you on this and educate you, and then they just shake their fist and get mad at me anyway. I had a lengthy conversation with somebody about how just because you don't need 8K or 4K video, and the guy's like, oh, well, the phone screen doesn't even do 8K, so it's useless to record in 8K. So I tell him, well, just so you know, the phone you have doesn't do 4K either, so should you get rid of 4K video because your phone is only 1080p? Or Quad HD Plus? That's not 4K. So anyway, a lot of it's education, a lot of it's ignorance, a lot of it's blind fanboyism. But the moral of the story here, many of these products are very good. They're not trash, except for the Pixel Fold, because it's a Tensor 2. Anyway, I just had to throw that out there. It's not trash. I've actually enjoyed the experience, but it does frustrate me that I got an $1,800 phone that has last year's chip that really is kind of uninspiring compared to the Tensor G3, and then the new Pixel 8 that has 7 years of support, yet my $1,800 phone is getting 3 years of upgrades. Google's made some questionable, very sucky decisions there. But anyway, if you like something, enjoy it for what it is. Don't let people tell you that it sucks. If you enjoy it and you like it and it's something that you're happy with, then that's great. That's what these products are for. Buy the one that lines up with what you need at the price point you can afford that makes you happy. End period. Like, end story, period. And so, for those of you who are out there who just want to leave comments that on an Apple video that says Samsung rules, Apple sucks. You suck. And you don't know what you're talking about. And that's okay, because the world is full of room for ignorant people. So that's all I've got in this video. I'm going to sign off on this one. If you have any questions or comments, please go to the comment section. I'll do my best to get back with you. Let me know what you think. Interesting video I made here, but today I was like, you know what? I'm going to hit the record button. And, damn the torpedoes, full speed ahead. So that's all I got. Hit the like, subscribe button, little notification bell if you want updates when new videos come out. And as always, thanks for being here. I appreciate you watching, and I'll see you guys next time.